Alright guys, so we're going to finish this exercise. This is the spreadsheet fundamentals. Now in this exercise we have 1, 2, and 3 tabs. These tabs right here are the ones that we're going to solve, right? This first tab called source data, that is just the data that we're going to use for our exercises. So in travel plan, which is exercise A, we're going to learn how to use the formulas, right? Very simple formulas, just addition and multiplication and division. Now in exercise B, we're going to use v-lookups, and we're also going to use a drop-down menu right here. And then in tab number 3, or exercise C, we're going to use pivot tables and also graphs like the ones that you see here. Right? We're going to have 1 exercise, 2 exercises, and 3 exercises for pivot tables. Okay, so let's start. This is the source data. Wise Owl Travel Agents. So this is the holiday ID. Yep, so this is just a unique identifier for each package. Now it's good to know, and I'll tell you later why. Country. Now this is if we're planning a trip. This is the country that we want to go to, either Spain, Germany, England, Australia, Peru, France. Now right here, resort name. This is just the names of the resorts that you can find in these countries. Then number of days each resort or each country has in a package. So this one, for example, is going to Spain, and the resort name is Barcelona, and you can stay there for 4 days. The method or the travel method is by train, and this is the price, right? So this is the data that we're going to be playing with. Now first of all, put your student name right here. In my case would be Camilo Hoyos. Then check the tabs and complete the exercises. Let's go to tab number 2 to complete this exercise. Travel plan. So instructions. You're planning on traveling a few countries and staying in several resorts. You want to know how much money you will have to save for this trip. So we're going to use formulas. Number 1, you want to fly to Spain and stay there for 8 days. So right here in country, we're going to go back to the source data. Remember, you have to go to Spain and stay there for 8 days, right? And it said also you need to fly, right? So you want to fly to Spain, so by plane, Spain, and stay there for 8 days. So let's go see which one is the one that we need. Spain are right here. So let's use these filters here. I'm just going to copy all of this, create a filter, right? And then go to this country column and then sort A to Z. Now let's go to Spain. There it is, like all of these options I have for Spain. Now let's see which one is the best that matches my request. I'm going to go to Spain, then I want to stay there for 8 days. It seems like we have 2 for 8 days, either this one or this one. So let's see how much this one is. 177, and this one here is 277. They're both by plane. They're both 8 days, and they're both going to Spain. Well, let's just choose one. Doesn't matter which one. So first, right here in country, we're going to hit equal. Then we're going to go to source data, and we're going to hit the one that we chose. Let's say that the one that we chose is Madrid. So country, we click on Spain, right? In this row, because that's the one that we want. Then hit enter. There it is, country Spain. The price, we're going to hit equals. Then we go back to source data. Then we're going to go to where the price is in Madrid. Madrid, 8 days, plane, this one here, 277. Then hit enter. Perfect. Now we have the price for that one. Number 2. Then you're taking a train to France and stay for 5 days. Let's go to France, see what's happening in France. France, there it is. So I have these trips to France right here, but I want to stay there for only 5 days. Here it is, 5 days to France in Paris. So we're gonna add this country right here and also this price right here. So let's go back to the travel plan. Then you click in here in the second step and hit equals. You go to source data, Then we go to friends to stay for 5 days, which is this one right here. Click, enter. Then the price, you click here, go back to, then hit equals, then go back to source data. Then you're gonna hit this one here, which is 269. Let's see, it is by train, so let's make sure it is by train, what they said. Number 2, then you're taking a train to France and stay there for 5 days. Yes, it is by train, so you got that one right. Then number 3, your plane back to South America leaves from England, which means you're gonna have to go to England. So you need to go there and stay there for 1 day, at least for 1 day. So let's go here and hit equals right here. Then let's go to England, stay there for 1 day. So England, we only have 2 options right here, right? This one is 3 days, so that one doesn't work for us, but this one is 1 day, and it is only 12. So let's click this cell right here to England, hit enter, and then you click on this cell right here in B19, hit equals, and then let's check the price, which is England 1 day right here, that one, 12 days. Then we hit enter. Now the total, how do you find the total? Equals, you add sum, S-U-M, open brackets. Then you're going to select these cells from here to here, these 3 cells, only these 3. Then you close the brackets, hit enter, and there it is. This is the total that you're gonna spend on that trip. Now, A, how much is your trip? This is the answer. B, assuming that it is the same price per person, how much is your trip if you want to bring 5 friends? Well, it's pretty simple. If you want to bring 5 friends and the trip is the same for each person, then you're gonna grab this total right here and multiply by 5. So equals right here, then you type in, you click in this cell right here with the total, and then you times, remember times is the star, and then you click 5 because it is 5 friends. Enter. Okay, now it is gonna be 2,790. All right, now we're gonna have to format this to the same format that these ones are in, right? To add the same currency. So you click on one of these white ones, and then you click on here, paint format. Then you're gonna click here, right? To transfer the format to this cell. That's it. Now C, one of your friends says he doesn't have money to go. So you decide to divide the cost of the trip among the 4 friends. So he doesn't have to pay anything. How much is the vaca? Okay, so let's see the total. The total is this one, but with the 5 friends, the total is this one. So we're gonna divide this by only 4 friends, right? So we're gonna hit here, click equals, then this cell right here, because it is the 5 friends total, divided by only 4, right? So that means each one of you is gonna have to pay 697.5. However, this is not formatted yet. So let's click here, go to paint format, and then click there. And there it is, 698. All right, so this is it, exercise done. Now let's move on to the next one. Okay, let's read. So referencing the data in tab source data, meaning this tab where all our data is. Use v-lookups to find the information for each resort ID. So this is why we needed this resort ID. Yeah. So in this case, we only want the information regarding this resort. Yeah. We don't care about the other ones. We only care about these ones in this tab. Now, number 2, referencing the data in tab source data. Use v-lookups on all the green boxes to find the information needed when entering any code, any resort code in the white box. So right here, we're gonna need a drop-down menu addressing all of these IDs right here in this column. And then right here, we're gonna have to use v-lookups to grab this code and search for this information in this source data, right? So let's go with this one first. So resort name. So we're gonna stand up right here, then hit equals. Then you're gonna look for this in the v-lookup. So let's click v-lookup, open bracket. Then click this one, right? Because that's the one that we're gonna look for. Comma. Then we go to source data, and we're gonna select from here all the way to here, to price, and then all the way down. So shift control, then the arrow down, then comma. Then we're gonna look for, let's see, it's asking us for the name, right? So since it's asking us for the name, we're gonna have to look for where the name is. So holidays here, country, resort name, here it is, the name is right here. So 1, 2, 3. So we click number 3, then comma, false, close brackets, enter. There we go. Resort name is Malaga. Now that we have the formula working here, the v-lookup, let's make sure that when we drag this formula down to fill in all of these boxes here, the range doesn't move also down. So we're gonna have to fix the range. So we click anywhere inside of this purple text, which is the range, and then you hit F4 on your computer. Not the actual F and the actual 4, but the key called F4. You know, the F1, F2, F3, F4 is the one that I need. Once you hit F4, you're gonna notice that this shows up. You see? These currency symbols, they show up before each letter and before each number. Now, if you don't have F4 on your computer, then I'm gonna do it in a different way. So you go here, you click before the A, and you hit the currency symbol. Then before the 4, same thing, currency. Then before the F, currency, and also before the 32, currency. Then hit enter. Now let's go back to this formula right here. Let's look for this blue square and then drag it down to fill in all the boxes in here. There it is. Okay, so now that we finished looking for the resort name right here, now we're gonna look for the travel method. So let's click there, hit equals, v-lookup, open brackets. We're gonna look for this ID, comma, we're gonna look for this ID in this source data, and we're going to click from holiday ID all the way down to price, and then all the way down here, then comma. We need what's in cell number, this one here, in column. We need the information that is in column E, in travel method, right? Let's just double check that. Yes, travel method says right there, so that's what we need. So we're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we type in number 5 because that's the information we want. Then comma, then you type in false, then you close the bracket and enter. And there it is, travel method is plain. Now let's go ahead and fix this up again. So when we drag the formula down, it doesn't move the range. So currency symbol before the A, currency symbol before the 4, currency symbol before the F, and currency symbol before the 32. Enter. Now let's drag this down from here. Perfect. Now the last one is going to be price. So let's go ahead and click equals, v-lookup, open bracket, click on holiday ID, comma, let's go get the range, which is right here. The range is from holiday ID all the way down to price, and then all the way down. Well, I actually like going like this and then shift control down to select everything. Then comma, what we want is the price. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we type in number 6, comma, false, close brackets, enter. There it is. Now let's go ahead and fix the range. So before the A, you hit the currency symbol, before the 4, currency symbol, before the F, currency symbol, and then before the 32, currency symbol. Hit enter. Then we click here and we drag this down to the last cell. And we got it. We finished this portion of this exercise. Now let's go ahead here and finish this portion. Now let's see, let's just click on any of these codes right here. Let's say, for example, this first one, right? Just to make sure it's right. So let's copy that. Then let's go back to our exercise in v-lookups and then put it here. But not like that. I'm just gonna double click on it and paste it there. There you go. Because I don't want the format to be ruined. So now that's the code that we're looking for, right? That's the placeholder. Now let's say country. So equals v-lookup, open bracket. Then we're gonna look for whatever's in here. So click there, comma. we're gonna look for it here, and we need the country, right? So we're gonna hit the range, which is all of this, and then shift control down. Then comma. We need the country, which is in number 2. So you type in the 2. Then comma, false, close brackets, enter. There you go. So the country that belongs to this code is Australia. Now we would like to just drag this down all the way down here. Why don't we just go ahead and do that? So let's fix the range first. So before the A, you type in this symbol, before the 4, also that symbol, currency also before the F, and before the 32. Then hit enter. Now, but be careful, because we also need to change this right here, right? This cell. So it always looks for whatever is on that cell. So since what we're looking for is the first one, then we're gonna click on before the G, we're gonna hit the currency sign. And also before the 3 currency sign, hit enter. Now we're gonna drag this down. Now all we need to do is just change this number, right? To give us the proper result. So country, now for resort name, let's see what number this would be. Let's go here to the source data. Resort name is this one here. Let's count, 1, 2, 3. So it's gonna be number 3. Let's go back to v-lookups. Let's go here and change this to the number 3. 3, enter. Perfect, resort name is gonna be Great Barrier Reef. Now, number of days, right here. Let's go to source data. Number of days is right here, so let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we change that number to number 4. So let's go here and change this to number 4. Enter, 32 days. And travel method. Let's go back here to the source data. Travel method is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then price is gonna be 6. So travel method is 5. So we change this number to number 5, and then price is going to be 6. So we change that to 6, then hit enter, and done. Perfect. So now we have this complete as well. Now we're going to add, instead of one single code right here, we're going to add a drop-down menu to add all the codes that we need. So we're going to delete that. As you notice, it's looking for nothing, so it's going to give you an error. That's cool, don't worry about it. So let's stay here in this cell and add a drop-down menu. So click on data, then data validation. Then here in enter a range or formula, click on those 4 squares. Select data range. Now let's go to the source data and select this data range from here. Shift control all the way down to select all of this. Then hit OK, then save. And let's go back to the v-lookups tab, and there it is. We have a drop-down menu. We can select whatever code, and it's going to give us all the information related to that code. Now let's fix this little line right here that is bothering me. Then we select all of this little table right here, then we go to borders, and then we click on border color. I want it in purple, then I want it a little bit thicker, which is right here, the thickness. It's probably number 2. And then we click here, outer border. Hit there, and there it is. It's fixed. Perfect. Now let's finish with pivot tables. Now pivot tables is the easiest part of this exercise. Let's see what's going on here. In exercise number 1, and tap pivot tables. So create a pivot table that allows you to see the name of the resort, the country, the price from cheapest to most expensive, and then a graph. So let's go to the source data and select everything from the headers. Right, so the headers first, then shift control, then arrow down to select everything. Let's go to data, pivot table, new sheet, create. And there it is. This is our pivot table. So it's asking us for, in the rows, we're going to add the resort name. Then it's asking us for, let's see, I forgot, resort name. Wait, it was here in pivot tables, country, and then the price. So let's click back on our pivot table, then add another row. Oh, but before we add another row, let's just uncheck this show totals that we don't need. So uncheck that, then add another row with the country. And then in values, we're going to add the values, and they're going to be the price. Now for this price, we don't need the sum. We don't want the sum right now. We just want the min or max. It doesn't matter which one. because they're going to show us the unique values. So right now this is what we have, and let's see what else is asking us for. Then we need to organize this from cheapest to most expensive. So let's go back to the pivot table. Oh, let's get rid of these show totals because we don't need them. And now let's organize the name. Yeah, the resort name, we're gonna organize it from cheapest to most expensive. So in resort name right here, sort by, and we click there in the drop down menu, min of price. And there it is. Now we have it. Now to add the chart, we're going to select everything from the headers. Then we're going to put insert chart. And I believe it was a line chart, so we're going to click here in chart type, and we're going to change that to the line chart. Now, as far as I remember, we didn't have the countries in the graph. Let's just double check that. Let's click on pivot tables exercise. Yes, as you can see, you don't have the countries there. You have only the names of the resorts. So let's go to our pivot table, click on the chart, and get rid of this that we don't need, which is, oh yeah, let's click here these three dots to access the chart. Edit chart, then right here, label country, we don't need that one, so we click the X, and here it is. Now let's click on that chart and move it to the side, and we're done. Now let's go to the next one. So that was exercise number 1. Now let's go to exercise number 2. Let me move this that way to better see it. Okay, so create a pivot table that allows you to see the country of destination, the method of traveling or travel available, and the cheapest price, and then the graph, right? So let's go ahead here in source data, select everything. Well, everything is already selected, so we can just go here in data, then pivot table. We're going to add a new pivot table in a new sheet and click create. Okay, now here we're going to add, I totally forgot what is it that's asking us for. So let's go back in here. Country against method of travel. So pivot table number 3. Let's add a row that is the country. In the columns, we want the method of travel or travel method. And then in the values, we want the price. There it is. And we want the minimum price, so the cheapest one, which is here, minimum. Now let's double check that to make sure that this is what it's asking us for in pivot tables. Yep, country, travel method, and this is the price. Perfect. Now we just need to add a graph. So let's go back in here, select from country, and then down to Trinidad. We don't need the grand total there. So we just select this, and this grand total we don't need it either, so let's not select that. In fact, you can actually uncheck it from here and it's going to get rid of it. Perfect. Once you select that, you go to insert, chart, and here it is. We have the chart. Now let's see if that's the chart that we need. Yes, that is exactly the chart. Perfect. So you click on the chart and then you move it to the side. Great. Now let's go and finish this last exercise, which is exercise number 3. Now let me just move that way so we can see it better. Create a pivot table that allows you to see the country of destination, the number of days in the travel package, the price of each package, and then we have to filter this by destination because we only want the plain astronomy options. So country, here in the rows, here in the columns, we have the names, the name of the resort, and then down here, oh, and we also have the number of days in rows. So let's start, let's just take it easy a little bit and start from the beginning. So we select everything here in the data, then we go to data, pivot table, new sheet, create. The first, we're gonna add a row that is gonna be the countries, right? So pivot table 4. Then let's add in rows, we're going to add the country. Now let's go back to the exercise. Then we also need in rows, we need the number of days. So let's go back to pivot table 4. Let's uncheck these show totals so we don't get confused. Then add number of days, this one. Then uncheck the show totals. Perfect. So far so good. Then we also need here in columns, we need the resort name. Let's go back to pivot table 4, and in columns, right here in columns, we're gonna add resort name. There it is. And now to fill in the table right here, what we need is, well, let's just get rid of show totals. Then in values, add values, the price. And here it is. But they said that they don't want to see everything. They only want to see the ones that offer plain as travel method, right? So let's go back to our pivot table and let's add a filter. Down here, as you can see, there is filters, right? So in filters, you click add, and then you have price, travel method. There it is, travel method. And then we choose from travel method, we choose only plain. So clear everything and choose plain, then hit OK. And there it is. It says here the country, the number of days you're allowed to stay, the resort name, and then the prices of those who only offer or who offer plain only. We don't care about the rest. Perfect. Now it's asking us for a chart. Let's see what kind of chart they're asking us to do. Let's go down a little bit. As you can see, is a bar chart. Easy. So go to pivot table number 4. Select everything starting from these headers. So let's go down, select everything until Trinidad, and then Shift Control, and then the arrow to your right to select everything else. Then insert chart, and there it is. This is the bar chart that we needed. Then we click on it, and then we make it go down here below everything to make it look organized. There it is, perfect. Now this is the way you finish this exercise successfully. Cheers.